This is a movie that can absolutely be enjoyed by everyone. It is my favorite romantic comedy of all time. I absolutely love this movie, and I probably watch it a little bit too much. Think romantic comedies are just for the ladies? Well, think again. Join me today as we look at 3 romantic comedies that will not only win over your heart, but also have your guy laughing, crying, and maybe even a little swooning. Trust me, these films are a perfect blend of comedy and romance that every guy secretly loves. But before we get into the video, give me a like if you enjoyed this video and give me a follow so I can do the dirty work and let you know what is the good, the bad, the ugly, what's worth your time, and what's worth skipping in movies and TV. Now, let's get to the first movie. The number 3 movie on my list is definitely a bros type of rom-com. It is made for the guys. It is told from the perspective of the male main character of his friend and his friend group. This movie is more of a comedy than a romance, but it still has a great love story about finding love in the most unexpected of a place. The hilarity and hijinks will keep your guy in stitches and have you reminiscing about trying to get the person who may have been a little bit too far out of your league. This movie is none other than She's Out of My League. The film follows Kirk, an average guy working at TSA who finds himself in a surprising relationship with the stunning and successful Molly. When Kirk unexpectedly catches Molly's attention, he struggles to believe that someone as beautiful and accomplished as she could genuinely be interested in him. As the relationship develops, Kirk faces insecurities and doubts about his worthiness, especially with the influence of his well-meaning but often misguided friends. The film explores themes of self-acceptance, love, and the idea that true connection can transcend social expectations and appearances. With a mix of humor and heartfelt moments, Kirk learns to embrace who he is while navigating the challenges of dating someone who seems to be out of his league. The comedy aspects alone in this movie will keep your guy engaged all the way through this movie. Kirk is an extremely relatable character that most guys will be able to connect with in many different ways. And Molly is the perfect representation of that thought to be unattainable dream girl. There is a hair-raising scene in this movie, and if you know, that takes helping out your bro to the absolute extreme, and it will leave your side splitting in laughter. This movie is a must-watch with your guy, and not only a must-watch, it's a must-watch tonight. The number 2 movie on my list is a rom-com with a twist. This movie has a great love story, wholesome family dynamics that may have you relating to your own family. This movie will allow you to see maybe what could have been if things would have went a little bit differently, and have you wanting maybe to even walk down the aisle in your own wedding till Il Mundo, the greatest wedding song of all time. This movie is none other than About Time. This film centers around Tim, a young man who learns from his father, James, that the men in their family have the ability to time travel. Tim discovers that he can use this gift to improve his life, particularly in matters of love. When he meets Mary, a charming and quirky woman, Tim is determined to win her heart. As he navigates the ups and downs of their relationship, he learns valuable lessons about love, family, and the importance of living in a moment. Throughout the film, Tim's journey is filled with the heartfelt moments and humorous situations as he grapples with the consequences of his time-traveling abilities and the impact they have on his family and the lives of those he loves. This movie's use of time travel adds a very interesting dynamic, and we've all had those moments in our lives where we wonder what could have been if we would have just done some things a little bit differently, and how much they have panned out for the better or maybe even for the worse. And this movie helps us be able to find out what could have been in those moments. The movie beautifully navigates through the family dynamic of Tim and his extended family and tells a story between Tim and his dad that will have many of men wanting to touch base with their own father when this movie is over. It has plenty of comedy that will keep you laughing, and the two main characters in this movie may be some of the most relatable characters I have ever seen in a movie. This movie is a definite must watch. And now we have finally come to the number one movie on this list. This movie has a great story of acceptance, knowing your worth, and standing your ground. It has a character that you buy into and endears you to not only the main characters, but some of the supporting characters as well. And it gets you to place yourself into the stories of these characters in this movie. The movie has a perfect balance of comedy and seriousness, beautiful heartfelt moments, a phenomenal soundtrack, and possibly my favorite version of a song ever in a movie. This movie is Crazy Rich Asians. The film follows Rachel, a Chinese-American economics professor who travels to Singapore with her boyfriend Nick for a wedding. Upon arrival, Rachel discovers that Nick comes from an incredibly wealthy and influential family, which thrusts her into the glamorous yet competitive world of Singapore's elite. As Rachel navigates the challenges of fitting into this high society lifestyle, she encounters Nick's formidable mother, Eleanor, who disapproves of their relationship. Along the way, Rachel also meets a colorful cast of characters, including her stylish friend Picklin and the glamorous socialite Amarinta Lee, who is the bride-to-be in this movie. The story explores themes of love, family, and cultural identity against a backdrop of opulence and tradition, highlighting the contrast between Rachel's upbringing and the extravagant world of the young family. This is a movie that can absolutely be enjoyed by everyone. It is my favorite romantic comedy of all time. I absolutely love this movie, and I probably watch it a little bit too much. There are plenty of comedic scenes in this movie that will keep men entertained and will have them thinking about them and their friend group and how they would navigate the situations that Nick and his friends have to navigate in this movie. The wedding scene is probably the most amazing, outlandish, crazy, but awesome scene in the entire movie. There is a song played by Keena Grannis called Can't Help Falling in Love, and her version of the song is the greatest cover of a song in any movie that I've ever seen, and is one of my top favorite songs of all time. This is a romantic comedy that should absolutely be seen by everyone and be in everyone's rotation. And if you haven't seen it yet, what are you waiting for? You gotta go see this movie right away. So make sure to let me know what you think of this list and what rom-coms maybe I missed that you think would fit the criteria that guys would love, and why do you think that they would love them? Leave those down in the comments. I'd love to hear from you. Thanks for joining me today, and I'll see you in the next one, everyone. See ya.